Hey guys, my name is Jeremy Vessey, and I've been a freelance graphic designer for close to 10 years now. I've created over 100 products, and I've done a lot of different client jobs over the last 10 years. So I wanted to take you through my process and create a series on Pixel Surplus. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, feel free to go over and like and subscribe. And let's get into it. So today I wanted to create a simple line art badge and just kind of take you through my process of creating something like that, and then hopefully we can get into more complex things in the future. So as you can see, I've already created it, but I'm going to delete it, and we're going to start from scratch. But before you start, you can download this typeface, which is called The Great Outdoors. It's a typeface that I created a few years ago, and it's available for free on Pixel Surplus. So if you wanted to follow along and create this exact badge, feel free to head over to Pixel Surplus and download that now. Alright, so I'm just going to get rid of this completely, and then I'm going to try to create or recreate what I had just made. So to start this off, we're going to just make a circle. Alright. And I'm just going to get rid of that fill, and I'm going to add a stroke in, and let's make it about 6. That's probably going to change, but that's good enough for now. So let's press copy and then Command F and drag this down. Now if your stroke is scaling, then you can go up to scale and get rid of scale strokes and effects, and that will eliminate the annoyance of, every time you scale something down, it changing the stroke width. So if you're not running into that problem, that's fine. But the people who are, that's how you fix it. So let's just take type on path, and we'll click the middle right here. So as you can see, that's The Great Outdoors is already loaded in there. And the copy that we're going to have around this badge today is Maritime MFG, which is just kind of a little fake brand that I created. And let's scale this up a little bit. And I'm going to press Command C and Command F, which will paste it in place. I'm going to rotate that around. And on the bottom here, it's just going to say East Coast Co. Awesome. Now let's highlight this, get rid of that circle. And I'm just going to kind of scale this down a little bit. Now obviously I don't want this East Coast Co to be upside down, so what we have to do is just make sure that that's selected, go up to type, and then press type on path and go to type on path options. We're going to press preview here, and let's go ascender and flip. So now all we have to do is kind of scale this down slightly and match it with the top. There we go. It's looking good. Now it's not perfect, but this is kind of the solution that I've always done. And then I just take the eyedropper tool, make sure that these fonts are the exact same size. And let's scale this down just slightly again, and so let's scale this. You can see that this is a little off, so we're going to just make this the same. Cool. Probably an easier way of doing it, but this is just how I'm doing it right now. So let's take this circle, we're going to copy it and press Command F again, and then we're going to scale that down. Try to get it around, make the type in the center of these two lines. And so the point of the of this video is to create simple badge that's just made with strokes. So I'm going to create that horizon line now. Just going to take this line, drag it over in the center of this badge. Now we're going to take a circle. I'm just going to make sure that that's aligned in the center. We're going to scale it up. Let's select this one and then delete this point here. And then what I like to do is then just go down to Pathfinder and press Unite, and that'll put everything back together. All right, so now I'm going to drag this line down here, in the center as the kind of the first sun ray. And we're going to go to this rotate tool, which can be a little bit finicky and annoying at times, but let's just drag this blue circle here down to the center of this circle. And then we're just going to press Option, and we're going to click. And what this will do is it'll bring up the rotate settings. And right now I have it at 36, which is, if you take 360 and divide 36 into it, then you get 10 lines. So once we hit copy, it's going to angle it at the 36 degree, but it's just one line. So then what we have to do is press Command D, and this will kind of give us our 10 sun rays. Now we don't need the ones in the bottom here, so let's get rid of those. Awesome. And now let's create some waves. So I'm just going to make some circles here, and I'm going to, without that being highlighted, I'm going to press Shift Command and then just drag it over to the edge there. And let's make 4 of those. We're going to scale these up. Let's put it in the center. And just to avoid selecting everything, I'm just going to take it out for now and get rid of these points here. And I'm going to select these 2 points so I can join them together by pressing Command J. Command J and Command J. All right. And then I'm going to take this, and we're just going to press, without that being selected, press Shift Option, drag downwards. And I'm just going to get rid of one of these circles here, just to kind of, and then we're going to center that. So now I just wanted to briefly talk about why I chose this typeface. This typeface was created with strokes, so naturally I felt like it would give a lot of balance to this badge that is also, a monoline or stroke illustration. So I felt like it would balance, the illustration with the type and the badge perfectly, so that there's no, varying weights. And that's just a personal style preference. It's not a rule or anything, but it's what I like to do with these styles of illustrations, is try to make sure that the type is either much bolder so that it actually stands out intentionally, or much lighter. But what I like to do is just kind of try to make it all uniform. Again, that's not a rule or anything, but I find that if the font is like just slightly bolder or slightly lighter, it just looks a little off balance to me. So I like to try to make sure that the strokes and the type is kind of all balanced and uniform. Again, that's just personal preference. So now what we're going to want to do is let's take the badge, because what we want to do is make it again uniform with the type, and this type is rounded, so we want to make sure that the badge itself becomes rounded. Now what we can do is you can go up to the stroke panel and press round the corners. So that's one way to do it. But how do we make these corners rounded? So in order to do that, I'm just going to highlight everything. I'm going to deselect the type. And then we're going to go up to Object and press. Another important thing before you do that is just make sure that when these are all highlighted that there's no fill. If there's a fill in there, then it's going to screw up everything with the Pathfinder. So just make sure that it's only the stroke selected. We're going to go up to Object, Path, Outline Stroke. Awesome. So now we're just going to press Unite on this, and if we click on the Direct Select tool, we just need to go up to corners here, and let's make it 3, for example. Okay, so now you've got this kind of rounded, inky effect on all of the corners, and it actually matches the typeface. So the typeface, the Great Outdoors, kind of has that natural kind of inky effect to it where every corner is rounded, and now the illustration does as well. So that's looking pretty good. Now the last finishing touch is let's just copy this and we'll bring it outside the artboard, and here's the copy. Let's paste that back in. I'm just going to outline the stroke and press this to combine everything together so that when I click on it, I can just change all the colors automatically. Now I'm just going to scale this down, and we're going to create a few different options with it. Okay, so let's just come in here and play around. I'm going to find like a navy blue. Awesome. And let's just make this like a cream color. So I'll take this specific color and I'll go over to this color guide and just drop it down. And that gives me kind of a creamy color to it. I find that that's a decent little palette that goes with navy. So that's one. Now let's create one that's kind of enclosed. So I'm going to take this circle and I'm just going to go around it like this. Make it a little bigger and press that to kind of set it behind everything. Then I'm going to highlight the badge and make it the navy color. Okay, that's looking pretty good. See, that's a pretty simple little badge that honestly would work great on a hat or work great on a t-shirt or something like that. But it just kind of shows, if you balance the typeface with the stroke of the illustration, you can create a nice, clean, kind of modern badge. And that's just my personal preference. Do whatever you feel looks good. At the end of the day, we all have our own preferences, and that's what makes each designer different. And you can help kind of push the industry forward by experimenting, but this is just me. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I'm planning on creating more in the future, and yeah, I'm excited to get into that. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe the Pixel Surplus channel, and yeah, stay tuned for more.